We continue tracking that breaking news out of Washington, where Governor Gina Raimondo secured confirmation as U.S. Commerce Secretary about 2 hours ago now.
That move makes Raimondo the first Rhode Island politician to serve in a president's cabinet in more than 70 years. Here to discuss what comes next in the process, 12 News politics editor Ted Nesi. Ted, we've been talking about this for a while. Good to see you again.
Just a few days, I think.
Okay, so let's talk about the margin here. The Senate, we know, split 50-50. This vote, however, did not fall along party lines.
Yeah, no, Brian. I mean, this was a stronger vote. I thought she'd get a good number of Republicans, but the final vote was 84 in favor, only 15 against. Most of the Senate Republicans joined the entire Democratic caucus to support her. Even GOP leader Mitch McConnell gave her his blessing. I did talk last night to U.S. Senator Jack Reed, and he said to me it had not been heavy lifting, his words, to get support for Raimondo among his colleagues. That said, there was one dissenting voice, and might not surprise people, Texas Republican Ted Cruz, who's been critical of Raimondo throughout this confirmation process. Here's a little of what he said in a speech on the Senate floor shortly before the vote.
As my colleagues know, nominees will never be more engaged, more transparent, or more forthcoming than during their confirmation process. That Governor Raimondo has refused to be any one of these speaks volumes to how she would act if confirmed as secretary.
But obviously that was a minority view. 30 Republicans wound up voting for Raimondo.
So, Ted, now that this has happened, the big question is, when do we actually see the transition of power in the governor's office?
Very soon. We're still trying to figure that out at this hour. Raimondo's office told us she flew out of TF Green this morning, so she's already in D.C. and ready to be sworn in. So I'm expecting her to resign as governor at some point in the next few hours by sending a letter to Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee. We actually, I think we can show you right now, we're waiting to, excuse me, I misheard what we had right now, but we have people stationed outside of the stateroom in the State House because that's where Dan McKee will be brought in later to be sworn in as Rhode Island's 76th governor. He's planning a more formal inauguration ceremony at the State House on Sunday. And some folks have asked, McKee will serve out the rest of Governor Raimondo's current term. That's about 22 more months. And then he's allowed to seek re-election twice. So he could serve as much as 10 years as governor if he and the voters of Rhode Island choose that.
So, Ted, is there any benefit to us, who will stay in Rhode Island, having Raimondo in the president's cabinet?
Well, Brian, I've certainly talked to multiple regional leaders who think so. Senator Reed told me it'll help because she's already so familiar with the economic issues in this region that when they come across her desk in D.C., she'll already be up to speed. And New Bedford Mayor John Mitchell is among those who said he's glad to see that the Commerce Secretary will be a governor from a fishing state because her new department oversees NOAA. But, of course, it's not even just a national job. She's really taking on an international job. And once COVID's over, I assume she'll be doing a lot of traveling, probably go to China. And also, one bit of trivia that I just think is interesting. Raimondo is the first Rhode Island politician to join the president's cabinet since 1949, when President Harry Truman named J. Howard McGrath as his attorney general.
Just a short time ago. Well, Ted, we know you love your Rhode Island political trivia. Thank you for the update. And Ted will, of course, be back at 5 as part of our team coverage on all of today's events unfolding in Washington and right here in Rhode Island. Ted, thanks.
Thank you.